Cigars, theater boxes, and friends in high places are all markers of mature wealth. If you weren't born with a silver spoon, are there ways to fake it into these elite circles if you understand the culture? Or are you looking for a mega millionaire and want to know how to identify one in a lineup of fake wealth? Well, the signs aren't all Mont Blanc and Blancpain if you want to score a blank check. Whether you want to emulate it or uncover it, here are 15 signs that scream old money. Number 1. Not buying into fleeting trends. Old money is old because it's seen seasons come and go. The wealthy of this type are horrified at how much the new rich spend on brands and gadgets that will be here today, gone tomorrow. Seasonal fads and the latest trends rarely impress old money. They're amused at how much time and attention is given to celebrity gossip or mastering the latest social media platform, but they appreciate that the distraction allows the majority to stay occupied while they take care of business. Number 2. Horse sports. A pastime that barely anyone but old money can access is horse sports. It's a close-knit community, whether horse racing or polo, show jumping or fox hunting. The cost alone raises the barriers of entry to only the elite. At these types of events, many relationships are built, deals go down, and decisions are made, but finding your way into the saddle is usually only passed on by the bloodlines of old money. And Aluxers, remember to subscribe while you're watching this video. Number 3. Not replacing something until necessary and buying quality. Have you ever watched The Crown and wondered why the Queen still drives an old Land Rover Series 1 when you know she could afford to put her royal highness into any SUV she pleases? It's a good example of old money reluctance to replace anything unless completely 100% necessary. You know, the old if it ain't broke, don't fix it mentality. Old money will buy quality because they plan to use that item to death. Byron Tully wrote a brilliant book about the way to get this old money style if you don't have the budget. It's called The Old Money Book: How to Live Better While Spending Less, Secrets of America's Upper Class. You can listen to it for free by going to Alux.com/freebook. Number 4. Same, but same. If old money finally does concede to replace an item, you can almost be sure they'll try to find exactly the same thing. It might seem a bit stuck in their ways that this is the only shoe brand, one tailor, one kind of luggage, and one color of linen they like. This is often just like old money prefers it to remain, just the way it was. It's part comfort in the familiar and part coming from a culture of valuable items that don't get updated with seasonal fads. Number 5. Family tree. Nothing screams "we've been conquerors for a while" than a family tree. When you see a gold-framed family tree written in cursive and full of people with middle names and no divorces, you've landed in the presence of old money. Not only does it show that your mom knew who your dad was, it's indicative that these old-world linkages were more than blood, but often marrying large fortunes or titles together. Number 6. A knowledge of classical music, opera, ballet, and languages. Ah, the illustrious knowledge of the arts. It seems like inherent knowledge to the generationally wealthy. There's an air of old money about knowing the works of James Joyce or being able to speak French. If you've never been gripped by Tosca or laughed at Figaro, then perhaps Latin opera wasn't a staple in your family. Number 7. History. If old money had to fill out a LinkedIn profile, it would be a long scroll. Not because there's been a lot of job hopping, but rather because their career has historical context. They don't just pop onto the scene, and there's no overnight successes amongst old money. One of the foundation stones of old money is a long history of success. The old saying, "a rolling stone gathers no moss," couldn't have been proved more right than the old money of Europe, who've had the same estate homes for hundreds of years. And we all know how much moss those have gathered. Number 8. Time is more valuable than money. You might be able to pry some money away from the wealthy, but something you'll rarely be able to get is 5 minutes of their time. That's because old money knows that time is their most valuable resource. Time spent well is what got them to this stage, even if it included robbing and pillaging in centuries gone by. Old money protected their time, usually with layers of staff that keep them from engaging anyone. If you do get an audience with someone of old money, then don't be surprised if you experience this next trait. Number 9. Straightforward answers. Old money often doesn't really care who they offend. They've come to terms with the fact that hearing a hard truth has rarely killed anyone. If you ever have dined with a college friend and a wealthy uncle was at the table, they probably warned you not to take anything he says personally. That's the kind of candidness we're talking about. Often the truth is that it is the truth, so don't let your offense get in the way of good advice. In short, they're straightforward AF about everything except when it comes to our next point. Number 10. They avoid talking about money. A telltale sign that will indicate someone is old money is a resistance to discuss money. If you ask how much did you pay for something, you can expect them to squirm out of answering. The one rule of old money: you don't discuss old money. Number 11. Ivy League universities. Part of old wealth is attending the best universities in the world. From Oxford to Harvard, supporting your alma mater with pride is part of the culture. Old money know that it's not only what you learn while studying, but also who you meet. Those college chums are going to be across from you in the boardroom. Fairness aside, it's the way it is, and old-moneyed families know that spending on a good education sets up the next generation to keep the wealth in the family. Number 12. Summering in the south of France. There are few sentences that sound quite as upper crust as dropping that you're summering in the south of France. Nice, Cannes, Monaco, and Saint-Tropez are all the names that mostly come to mind. But if countryside trumps seaside, then Provenance's medieval charm is also a name worth mentioning in polite conversation to impress. Anywhere in and around the Côte d'Azur is a hot spot to see and be seen, and it's where old money love to people watch from their luxury yachts. Now, if the culture of yachts piqued your interest a bit, then maybe you'll want to watch this video next. 10 reasons the rich go yachting. Number 13. A member of the board. Old money will hold positions on many boards. These can be universities, companies, or charities, and the benefit is mutual. It helps the organization to have knowledgeable and reputable names steering their ship. It also helps the old money ensure they look after their own interests. Number 14. Legacy. What wealth is left to future generations is of central importance to the family structure of old money. Many children born into wealth are already assigned vast trust funds that will ensure they're able to carry on the standard of living they were born into. Another tool that old money will use are funds and various trusts to keep their money in tax-wise facilities that ensure they can live off the interest and leave the majority of wealth in the family for future generations. But of course, this isn't possible if you don't have patience, which brings us to number 15, a long game vision. Wealth creation is a long game. Old money knows this well. They realize that overnight successes are rare, but steady long-term investment means you're making good decisions that don't hinge on small market fluctuations, but rather general upward trends. They're willing to wait it out. They've seen their wealth survive world wars and market collapses, and they know that knee-jerk reactions are not the solutions. And with that, Aluxers, we're about to wrap this one up. But before we go, Mary McCarthy said, "Old money is fully as moronic as new money, but it's inherited an appearance of cultivation." What do you think about this? We would love to hear from you in the comments, so please join the conversation. Now, you know the drill. You stuck with us until the very end, so here's your bonus. Dressing well, but not advertising your wealth. Something you'll quickly pick up on when you spend time with old money is they don't flaunt brands or try to keep up with the latest trends, but somehow are always stylish. This is because they don't buy garish branded items or attempt to remain hip in every season. They focus on style that exceeds a seasonal trend or an age. This type of fashion sense exudes a quiet confidence that speaks of a tradition of refined quality. Alright, Aluxers, thanks so much for spending some time with us today. We're so glad you did. Now, we always appreciate you leaving us a thumbs up, so please do. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe.